Well, without further ado, Francis, Medley, if you could show us your face and unmute yourself, that would be fantastic.
Hi, Natalie. Yeah, I'm just trying to do my video, but it's not letting me do it at the moment.
No, you're all right. We'll one of my colleagues might
There we
help
go.
you out with that. There we go. Fantastic. Great. Well, good to see you. I'll pop off, and yeah, it'd be great to hear about PestFix and the evolution of the company.
Brilliant. Well, so firstly, thank you very much, Natalie. Hello, everybody. Right, hopefully you can now see my screen. So, yeah, good morning, everyone. So, the evolution of PestFix. So, obviously, we're proud sponsors of today's event, and part of it as well is we've got a fantastic opportunity to talk a bit about ourselves. And we'll start at the beginning. So, the origins of PestFix go back to 2002, and it was founded by the two brothers, Matt and Dan England. At the time, Matt was working in IT. Dan was a pest controller. He was a bird specialist, very hands-on sort of guy. And he saw an opportunity at that point for people to be able to, certainly the one-man bands, anyone really, to be able to purchase pest control products, but with a quick turnaround. So basically, in a nutshell, that's what they did, and that's where it came from. And they got into the industry supplying all sorts of products and consumables. As it says here, the ethos that we've always worked to is to be an inclusive supplier. By that, we mean no matter the size of what you are, from large corporations to sole traders, our aim is always to offer that same level of support. So, how has PestFix supported you so far? Price is obviously a big one, always looking to offer a fair price, and we always have people on hand. Our staff are all trained to level 2 or higher, and what we aim to do is each person to have their own technical specialism. By that, if there's something that someone's not sure about, we've got internal advice we can go to as well. Ultimately, we're always a phone call away. So, I've touched on the pricing bit already. We always aim to review our supply chain product by product. Where possible, we don't apply an annual percentage price increase. And sometimes, as hopefully some of the people on the call will have benefited from, we've even lowered our prices. Often comes to a surprise when people come back to us and say, what's your percentage increase? Actually, we're not looking at doing one, but we have got a better price on this one. So I'll touch on that in a bit more moving down the line. We are a universal supplier, and we've got a vast range of brands. So more than just the core pest control products. And if it isn't a core item, as sometimes happens, we can go out and we'll be able to be in a position where we can source it as well. So, for those who don't know, PestFix started off in Littlehampton, a small unit, lovely place right by the marina. On the back of that, what we then needed to do was to actually add another warehouse to the side of it. And then after that, we needed to add some more space as well. And ultimately, it came to the decision to actually continue to grow and offer facilities like training, etc. We're going to have to move. So back in 2019, the decision was to actually move to larger premises. Unfortunately, with a lot of things, COVID put a bit of a hold on stuff. But ultimately, move on a couple of years later, in July of last year now, what we were able to do is we were actually able to move into the new site in Chichester. So for those of you who have been to it, hopefully you've seen what it lays out, where we had the PestFix unlocked back in November last year. Obviously, a lot of people turned up for that. But it gives us far more ability in terms of facilities. It gives us far more space in terms of being able to stock more products. Obviously, with the increase in our sister division, Advanced Hygienics, what that has also allowed is a lot more different products, which we just didn't have the space beforehand. So hopefully you will all see the benefit that is now offered. And of course, we've got all the training facilities in there as well. So next question, how have we evolved to better support you? As touched on just now, as we've moved, we've got more trained people. The team's grown. There's more of us now. As touched on earlier, minimum of level 2 is we'll work to. Hopefully the benefit of that to yourselves is that you'll continue to receive faster skill service in terms of being able to, when you call up and you don't know what you want, actually the product is back there with you. We're now in a position, because of space, we're able to offer next day custom bird netting. So we've got a facility up on our mezzanine flooring where we can actually cut the netting to spec and then get it out the next day. Something that we've been asked for, and I understand from a lot of you is really, really important. Training is key. By that, we've got, obviously Debbie's now joined us and doing effectively well in what she does. The training programs we do offer, you can either come to ourselves or we can do it off-site, and we can do it in your offices should the numbers actually warrant that. With a price, which I touched on earlier, we are bringing our own range of products to the market as well. What that allows us to do is not only try and price as fairly as possible, but it also ensures that on the product quality. Very, very important. So the example that we've got here is the back brake traps. Doing a bit of background work beforehand, going back a period of time now, we found the industry standard price was around about £2.31. Our price on the back brake traps is £1.32. So what we aim to do wherever possible is always look to be as fair as possible on pricing. Next day delivery is really, really key in a lot of cases. What we've aimed to do more and more now is the whole world of Amazon, people's needs and demands grow. And that's something that's never changed right from the start. Next day supplier. And to do that, we need to stock. And to do, in turn, to get the stock out, our stock levels have grown since we moved by up to 5 times. What that means is that we've been able to fulfill all the orders, and it's not focusing just on big players, it's focusing on everyone. So what we're looking to do is help everyone, right down to little guys. So everything is important. Support is key in our industry, and that's the big thing that we have really, really focused on. As I've touched already, we've got more people, we've got more team members out on the road as well. For those who know, the guys are out there, they'll come and assist you on jobs, they'll come and carry out site surveys. They've got that product knowledge to be able to help you if you've got a job that's unsure of, be it bird, rodent, whatever it may be. Having the guys to be able to come out and assist you can be a massive, big booster in terms of helping you guys as well get the job done. And I guess ultimately, like everything that's touched on here, experience breeds confidence. You know, there's no two ways about it. The more experience that you have, the more you're confident in terms of what you know and what you're talking about. And as we heard from Graham, the last one as well, obviously the pest world, innovation is key. Everything evolves all the time. Going back to the first speaker as well, in terms of looking at some of the old traps and how the world has evolved from that point. It's really, really interesting. And we always try and be innovative as well. And I'm going to touch on a few bits and what we're looking to do to help push people forwards in terms of using innovation to make life easier. Great little expression there. I need a left-handed finger, Bob. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure Elaine in the office would be able to tell you. And these are the sort of scenarios that happen. You know, people know what they want, they don't know what it is. The experience that we have as a business allows us to be able to know and understand from the information we're given, and in turn be able to advise on a product that's suitable. So, innovation. For those of you who came onto our calls yesterday, you will already be familiar with this. What we have done yesterday is launch something that we've worked on for a while. For the previous 2 years, we've sort of had it working in a background mode, but we're now in a position to be able to open it up to everybody. And that is the PestFix portal. We've listened to what people have said, and this is far more than just an ordering tool. That's the big thing I can't get across from this. This is an opportunity for people, regardless of size of their business, to be able to use a product but and by the way, there's no cost to it at all. It's completely free for everyone to sign up to. But what you can do is you can order off it. It's far more information. But rather than me keep on, what I'll do is I'll play our promotional video on it.
Hi, Francis. Is there supposed to be some sound, just so that we know? A few people are asking questions in the chat.
There is. Can you not hear it?
No, there's no sound on there. Just so we're checking, making sure everything was okay your end.
It's the same as what the writing is. So I can hear it for some reason. It's obviously not coming through. So apologies about that.
No problem. Just checking. Thank you.
Yeah. Basically, the talking was what the writing, the subtitles was at the bottom. It's easier for that to be able to hear it. Apologies that you guys couldn't hear it from that side. Just to outline a couple of key factors from this. So the portal is ultimately an ordering tool. It's there to be able to, for you to be able to order items you want on the go. So sometimes because it's laptop and phone based, you could order it whilst out on job. If you're looking for next day delivery, that's not an issue at all. But also what it does do, there's a lot of back office facilities as well with it, which is really, really key. Ultimately, it's what you put into it that you get back out. You can store, let's say for argument's sake, that there's three technicians. What that gives the ability to do is for those three technicians to be able to store all their training records, rodenticide certificates, anything relevant within the BPCA at the time. You can monitor who's using what. There is a 4-tier sign-off process with it. So you can have operatives say, it doesn't have to go to 4 tiers, it goes up to that. You can have operatives, team leaders, managers, senior managers, whichever way you would want to do it, and you can set values of what people can order and ultimately approve. it's kind of moving everything into one area, which hopefully people will see the benefit of from that point. On this side, I've been tasked with looking after the portal. I'm more than happy to do demonstrations, run-throughs. We have live test sites, all the literature, etc., which we can go through, and we'll be obviously launching this on a large scale within PestFX as well. So there'll be opportunities to sit down and have a discussion and just really see the benefits of how it works. So apologies about the sound issue. But basically the subtitles was what Anna, our marketing lady, was talking about. Unless you want to watch it again with no sound, then I was going to play it again for the second time. So what else? Obviously, we're getting nearer to goal season. For those of you who don't know, we do distribute the PestFX laser. Absolutely fantastic tool for working alongside things like falconry. Very keen on pointing that out. It is part of the total IPM. Really, really effective. What we've seen is a lot of people more and more buying into this way of dispersing pest species. And again, as we touched on earlier, we're here to help. You know, we can assist on initial site visits, run through how the system works, etc. These come in mounted or handheld lasers, and what we often use is the handheld laser at the point of survey. What that does is it shows the customer just truly how effective they can be in terms of working with falconry, or in some cases they do work on their own. Now, I did have another video here, but this one here is really quite critical to sound. So, Natalie, if you're there, I will play it, but this is all about the bird alert system, which is obviously an audio scarer. So what this demonstrates is the effectiveness of the noise that it makes. Now, of course, if there's no sound, it's probably a little bit pointless. So if I start playing it, Natalie, if you can jump in and say, no, we can't hear anything, then we'll go from there. So I haven't.
No, can't hear anything there. I just had a message from a colleague saying, yeah, that Zoom, the audio through Zoom doesn't really work. So apologies about that.
Okay, no, it's absolutely fine. So anything short of me doing bird distress calls or my imitations on them, which I don't think is probably a good idea.
I can say it might be fun.
Yeah. I was almost half tempted to try, but I decided against it then. So it's no, I'll leave that one if that's okay. So basically, what the video does do is demonstrate the effectiveness of the distress call. For those who haven't seen it or come across it, this is how it works from that. And what you can see in the background is, because I have left it running now, is whilst the noise is being made, which I can hear, by the way, you can see the effectiveness in terms of the gulls actually flying away and going there. So what it basically does, as it says here, is as a bird reaches the area, the bird alert identifies the species by analysing their calls. It then responds by emitting the distress call of that species of bird to scare them away. A unique acoustic fingerprint. So it's not like some which are just basically making a distress call. It identifies by the sounds that the birds are making what type of bird it is, and then emits a distress call to be effective against that type of bird. So what else? We've got some bits coming soon. So we have PestFix waste disposal. The aim of this is about making waste disposal becoming easier. This is something that we've been asked for on numerous occasions. We've worked the last several months in terms of getting the relative licensing, etc., which we're pushing forward with now. So in terms of what's happening, it's going to be coming soon. How we intend to do this, we're going to do it in two ways. We are either going to allow people to drop it to us, which is great if you live within the South Coast area, but of course, if not, then it's not going to be practical. Or we're going to work around milk rounds, where we'll come and collect it on certain times and dates. All this, more information, again, I expect and hope to be able to announce more at PestFX, but just to make you aware, this is coming along. And one of the big things that we have been asked for, and certainly I know with compliance and speaking to people within the BPCA, is the disposal of rodent carcasses is very key and prominent at the moment. A bit more about some of our products. So obviously we touched on the bird alert, which provides a smart solution to the bird nuisance. We've got our Rodent Fix XR1 station, which is the new bait station, a metal one, on its way very shortly. For those of you who've already purchased or are using, hopefully you're finding it going well, we've got the Rodent Fix, the bait, the bromidal in blocks. We've got Guano Fix, which is the highest concentration avian disinfectant on the market, and it can also obviously work within rodent disinfection as well. And we have Solar Fix as well, which is a patented design. It's flexible. It's an easy slide on disc with a one-way mechanism. It allows also to use a larger gauge of mesh when going under the solar panels, which obviously, if anyone's carried it up or got it onto a roof, will realise that the larger the gauge, obviously, the easier it is to get it up there from that point. So what we did, we touched on earlier about training as well. For those who don't know, we are now we've got our technical manager, Debbie Wilson, who oversees all the training. Very, very effective in what she does. I'm sure everyone will agree. And we got the facilities within our Chichester site now to be able to welcome people in with full training rooms. But we can also do it off-site as well. There'll be numerous training schedules that will be dotted around the country to make it easier for people to attend. And also, if the numbers are there, we can do bespoke courses where we come to you. And we've had a really good example last week. A couple of the team went and visited a customer and did a bespoke course that was designed for them. So those are bits that we have from that point. So that is me done. Which kind of ties in nicely if there's any questions or anything.
Indeed, just popped up quickly there. Great, thank you for that. That was a good timing. We've got a question that's just popped through. Oh, we've got a couple coming up now, so fantastic. Okay, from Ed here. In order to, I think they meant to say drop, so I'm going to assume Ed says drop. So in order to drop commercial waste to you, would the company disposing of the waste need a waste carrier's license?
So that's we're all working for at the moment. Correct, if it's your waste and you're transporting it. If there is an issue around that, then of course we'll come and collect it from you, Ed. So that's not an issue. Like I say, rounds from that point may very well be the way that we're in terms of going forwards.
Absolutely, yeah. In terms of, I know when we go and see our members and waste carriers licenses, we always, tell them they need, I think it's a lower tier waste carrier unless there's something other else they're doing that's exciting. But the general waste, because if they're using it up on their site at Bob's Butchers and carrying it back to their stores, that's kind of carrying waste, isn't it? Even before they get rid of it. So yeah, it's always advised that
you're right.
You
so the lower tier allows it, and there's quite a lot more in terms of going through at the moment around EPOC and whammy tab and all that, so to ensure that everything is safe and compliant in what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I know for anybody who's listening in Scotland, Northern Ireland as well, they're called slightly different things. I think like special waste and they're slightly different. So yeah, have a look into your area, and I'm sure it'll become clear. It gets tricky when we talk about waste and licenses in different areas of the country. But great, thank you for that. So Thornston here says, are you planning to take up rodent monitoring in your offer? Which systems are you considering?
Rodent monitoring in terms of which offers that? Sorry, Thorsten.
What I'll do is I'll ask Thorsten if you could just elaborate on that question. Thorsten,
yes,
that'd be great, and I'll get to it again when we're done with the other couple of questions there. Are there any plans for the tyre beta frames?
Martin, I'll get back to you on that one. I will find out and see what timeframes I can get on that one.
There we go, fabulous. You can see them in there. And David, there's a little lost connection bit there. So Chris, I have a higher tier waste carrier license and an account with a pet crematorium site for carcasses as well. So yeah, it's depending on what area of the country you're in.
It's becoming more and more prevalent now, isn't it? The need to actually dispose of carcasses, definitely.
Yeah, fantastic.
There's a comment about the infrared system is harmful to human beings. It's the 3B lasers that are used on that, and you're correct, they are harmful to eyes. But the way that the structure works is that they cannot be, well, firstly, obviously, you have to have user sensibility, but they're all programmed to follow strict guidelines, which would, if it was on a roof, for example, then it would only follow the outline of the roof. And certain of the handheld lasers are only allowed to go to a horizontal level. They won't actually work if you go any higher than that, to stop people shining them in places they shouldn't do.
Of course. So the installation of these lasers, are they, how does it go about it? Do you have to be trained? Is there a particular training?
So there's NAVIX training courses, and you have to take a certification and pass it before you're then able to be the person that's in charge of using the lasers themselves. What that ultimately means is, there's no two ways about it. These are designed, like in a lot of our world, to do a job, and if they're used in the wrong way, they can be harmful and dangerous. So that's in terms of how we actually monitor and control the use of lasers is very key. And certainly the fixed ones follow strict patterns in terms of rooftops, or where they follow, they can't go over roads or anything that could be a distraction to anyone else.
Great. Jason just said there, do you offer a survey for laser deployment on roofs?
Very much so, yes. Jason, if you want to get in touch with us, then and you've got a problem anywhere, then we've got a whole team who will happily come to site, survey. And as I said, we can't demo the fixed ones, unfortunately, because of the size and the need for power, etc. But we've got the handheld ones, which we can bring along and just show the effectiveness against the birds that are on that roof at that time.
Great, fantastic. I can't see any more questions in the Q&A bit. Thornton, if they did want to elaborate on that question, then pop it in the Q&A section. And Francis, if you don't mind, just keep an eye on it. I can see you can. Oh, here we go. Hang on a minute. It just popped up. So regarding my question above, he's just interested in the distributor's view on the systems we just learned about in the previous call. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
so
sorry. I'm with you.
No, I get it now. I didn't quite get it either, but we got it now.
Sorry, Thorsten. I was like, I was kind of thinking, oh my God, I couldn't think what it was. Yeah, very much so. I think there is more and more of a market of, as we touched on from our own innovation point of view, I think it's key. We've seen many different, large national companies using similar products on certain sites at the moment. And I think there is always going to be a need for that, not just to the benefit of the people who like to see technology being used, but just that effectiveness of seeing when something happens. You get that instant feedback when there is you get that instant feedback of if there's activity. So I think it's absolutely critical.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, those systems, it's I think the uptake of them will be really dependent on the customers that you have and whether or not it's going to fit into the site. And those monitoring traps, they've got a place, haven't they? They've got a place. Good comments there. Great.
Yeah.
I think that brings us to a close of the questions. But please keep an eye on that Q&A section if you can, Francis. And if anything pops up, we're finished a tiny bit early, but
sorry, I was so keen not to overrun that I've gone too far. And sorry about the noise issues. Like I say, from the demo point of view, from the portal, it's something we're really proud of. Do please let me know. We can I can send you a link or recordings, and which does actually have the sound as well, so you can hear our delightful Anna talking as well.
Great. Yeah, everyone's used to hearing, either me babbling on or, presenters doing some great presenting. So I kind of thought there was some sound issues, but no, it was great. We could see the text coming up there. So
fantastic. Thank you. And Jason, I got your email. Yeah.
Great. Fabulous. Well, thank you, Francis. That was great and lovely to see you.
Yeah. Take care. Thanks, Natalie. Thanks.
Take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.